Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to see how fast we can get to space. That's right, we're going to be doing everything that's dupe possible, throwing caution to the wind and dupes to the fire in order to launch a rocket right off this planetoid. We can sort of fill in a backstory of this planetoid's going to explode in X amount of cycles, and the dupes just have to get to space. Now, because of the unique nature of this challenge, we're going to keep everything pretty standard, starting on the Terrania cluster. We'll re-roll the world seed a few times to make everything legit, and then go to start game. Now, I have not done a rehearsal run of this challenge, so it's going to be interesting to see what sort of roadblocks we don't expect. The starting off dupes, though, I think we're going to keep it pretty standard. We need that one amazing researcher to be able to get us the rocket tech, and we also need some diggers to be able to get all the way up there. And after a few minutes of clicking around, we have picked up a couple of good diggers, one with quick learning and the other that's handy, and a decent researcher who also has quick learning. And then we randomized the names of all the wonderful people who support this channel, and we were given Kay, Eilert, and Cathora. Without further ado, let's get going. As standard, we're gonna pause, zoom out, make sure there's no disasters right in front of us, and then we'll get going. Nothing strange to start off with. We're going to get a little bit of introductory digging. We're going to put our pitcher pump down here, and then some bathrooms and some cots over here. Despite all of that digging, we actually haven't dug up any metal ores yet. That could be an issue. A quick check to the star map. I wanted to make sure that this planetoid wasn't metal poor, because that would have been unfortunate. There we go. That's a couple of good chunks. That way we can put in some doors over here and put those bathrooms in. Something like this does the trick perfectly, and that way we don't even have to dig over here as much. Now, we are putting 4 cots in because I'm sure we're going to grab another few dupes, because the more labor we have, the better the chances we are going to be able to get to space as soon as possible before this planetoid is destroyed. We're going to start to dig up. That way we can put some power in, put our research table on, and we're also going to be digging a small hole into here. This hole is very specifically designed to be our carbon sink, and that way, from the very beginning of the game, we're storing all that carbon dioxide to hopefully be able to fuel a rocket. And once again, we are suffering from a lack of metal ore, so I think we're going to have to prioritize that just to be able to get the research online. And by breaking into this cavity, it released a little bit more oxygen, but more importantly, it gave us more copper ore. We'll start off with a single battery before we get updated to the jumbo battery, and finally our research station can go down. And since we're running up there, I think go ahead and put a ladder on this side as well, and that way the carbon dioxide has yet another place to go down. And now that I'm looking at it, I think we're going to put the research station over here, and that way we can put the supercomputer over here, and they both have the bonus of the light. Now, unfortunately, the cycle has wrapped up and we didn't even get research in. Definitely not one of my fastest starts, although I do believe I am trying to dig out more than I usually do. In fact, we're going to go ahead and toggle red alert so that they can get these tiles finished, so that way they can have some place to sleep tonight. Now, the research strategy in this run is going to be a little bit different than in some of our other challenges. For instance, the rocket platform and the solo spacefarer nose cone is inside colony development, not too shabby. And the carbon dioxide engine is inside of gases. Again, only a tier 2 research, so not too bad. Beyond that, we're obviously going to need a gas pump to be able to get the carbon dioxide up there. And it may be beneficial for us to get a coal generator, and that way we don't have any dupes wasting time on the wheel. We will need to plant some food though, so I think we're going to go ahead and start off by getting into meal prep. That way we grab the planter boxes and the mess tables. We'll follow that up with power regulation and internal combustion in order to get the jumbo batteries and the coal generator. We're also going to start off the cycle by putting down an oxygen diffuser, except in this run, we're not actually going to put a storage bin next to it with all the algae. There should be enough algae located close enough to it, and that way we don't have dupes running around wasting time putting algae inside of a storage bin. We've also went ahead and set the priorities, so Cathora is doing all the research immediately. Meanwhile, Kay and Eilert will continue doing all the building and digging. You might be wondering why we went through the process of getting the barracks and a washroom going. We're also going to get a mess hall here, and that's only because we want the dupes to have a little bit of morale so we can give them some skill points. For instance, in order to launch a rocket, you're going to need to have someone with rocket piloting. We're also going to need to have dupes that can do some of the super duper hard digging that it's going to take to get to the top of the planetoid. With our first research unlocked, we've put the ration box all the way down here at the bottom where the carbon sink is, and that way all the food is being stored in a sterile environment. And since the ration box is there, it kind of makes sense to put the mess hall in this area here. That way it's sort of co-located with the ration box itself. We went ahead and enabled harvest on all these wild plants. Right now we have a little over 20,000 calories. I would prefer not having to plant any crops because of how intensive it is on dupe labor. So the more we can get from around the environment, the better. Research is completed in meal prep, so I think the next stop is going to be internal combustion and get those coal generators online. And we've thrown down the mess tables and already have our wonderful +3 morale mess hall. And it's only a matter of time before we need to get advanced research, which means we'll have the water cooler and we'll take a quick trip to get a flower pot. And that way we can turn this mess hall into a great hall for a total of +6 morale for one simple room. But even more exciting is we've hit the time in cycle 3 where it's time for a printing pod, and we desperately want one of these dupes. I was torn between this Marie and the Wren, but the Marie is also a Luddite, whereas Wren also has increased construction. I think we're going to use this dupe as our general do everything else dupe, such as loading up the coal generators, and so we'll keep them deprioritized for now. Welcome to the challenge, Brian Matt. It may be smarter to take Brian Matt and make them a temporary digger. New dupes start off with the skill point, and unfortunately our standard digger and builders are still a little bit away from their next skill point, and that is stopping us from being able to continuously climb towards the surface of the planetoid. Research is going very well, except why are you doing research, Eilert? Let's go ahead and correct this. Only Cathora can do the research, thank you very much. But in that research, we've completed the coal generator and the jumbo battery. That'll keep our duplicates off the wheels for a little while. Advanced research is on its way. Our coal generator is done. We have the water cooler in and are just waiting for the one piece of decor. And we are making our way towards the top of the planetoid. We're also going to make sure we put some oxygen diffusers as we go. That way we can continually oxygenate this entire dig shaft. What is holding us up right now, though, is Cathora needs advanced research to be able to use the supercomputer, and our diggers desperately need some skill in digging. So we're going to continuously dig out everything we can see just to be able to give them a little bit more experience points. Our diggers have gotten some skill points, so we're able to break more through the granite. We're going to be corner building into these areas like this so we don't let all the chlorine, or in this case the hydrogen, out, because it'll only make it more difficult to keep oxygen in this dig shaft. Actually, in this case, I think we can go sideways. Our next roadblock is going to be super hard digging that we need in order to break out of our initial biome being protected by this abyssalite. Our printing pod has gone off in cycle 6, and now we have a decision point. We could grab another dupe and it would give us a little bit more help around the colony, but it would also hasten the amount of food that we need to be able to feed them. So unless one of these dupes has, for instance, super hard digging or super duper hard digging, I think we're gonna pass. Yeah, nothing knocking my socks off. We'll just take the fertilizer. We've also made the original carbon sink a little too big, so we're gonna make a new one. And to prepare ourselves, we're gonna put the gas pump down here. It will eventually put this ration box in a non-sterile environment, but right now we're only holding muckroot and nutrient bar anyways, and they don't ever go off. Oh my goodness, idle dupes. While the duplicates think they don't have anything else to do, we can actually start building this gas pipe. It's not a priority quite yet, but it's something they can do in their off time, so we'll probably set this at a priority of 4. Of note, we're probably going to need to insulate the gas pipes going through this biome. Otherwise, all that carbon dioxide has a chance of liquidizing and then cracking the gas pipes. We've set up a small little dupe gym here. The priority is set at 1. And that way, if we truly have nothing left to do, the dupes can come over here and run and still get some experience. Our new carbon sink is working amazing. I'm not even going to filter this, but as it fills, we'll continuously dig over to the side here so we can store even more carbon dioxide, all being assisted by the coal generator, who produces 20 grams of carbon dioxide per second. Not too shabby. We're also digging into places we normally probably wouldn't, but once again, just to give our dupes a little bit more experience. And I believe we've gotten all the research that is necessary, except for the rock crusher to make some refined metal. So I think we're going to go ahead and get into smart batteries to automate that coal generator right after we get the rock crusher that we need to make the refined metal. I really should have looked for a dupe that started with super hard digging. We'd already be up to the space biome. Well, you look at this. Stinky starts with super duper hard digging. Now, it doesn't get us through that tier 2 digging, but if we do run into any obsidian, we will be able to cut through thanks to the addition of Stinky. Welcome to the colony, Dummy Hungry. And the research for the smart battery is finished, and we're only 65 kilos worth of copper away. We've already got the automation line down as well. The next pod came without much fanfare, no super hard digging skilled dupes, so we grabbed some omelets. We're sitting at 35,000 calories. But even better, Brian Matt just leveled up, so we finally have that abyssalite mining skill. We've put an oxygen diffuser here and then raised the priority to this to the absolute max. And now it's going to be all hands on deck, continuously building that gas pipe and digging out this shaft. Of note, we are down to about 30,000 calories, so we're cutting it real close with the choice not to plant any crops. We've also stopped research because I don't believe there's anything else that we need. This could be a huge oversight on my part. Starting to load up some sandstone inside the storage bin. We have some idle dupes and only so many can dig in this shaft. So instead of digging extra to be able to catch some of the falling debris, we'll keep moving some of the building materials up with us as we go. Right now it's cycle 13, and I think we're about 3 cycles behind just due to the fact that we had to wait for someone who could cut through that abyssalite. We're now switching ladder construction over to igneous rock because there's so much of it more here, and that way the duplicants don't have to get very far to be able to load all that up. We have enough copper. We put down the rocket platform. We're getting very close. Brian Matt is in the middle of construction of our rocket platform. We're nearing the end of cycle 15. It's almost time to jump off of this rock before it explodes, or at least that's what we've told the duplicants. Oh, look at this. We even have a snazzier blue suit. We're going to go ahead and give that to Kay because they are our rocket pilot. The design of the rocket, it's pretty simple. We have one carbon dioxide engine and one Spacefarer nose cone sitting on top of it. It's small, but it will do the trick. And as soon as that gas pipe is finished, all that carbon dioxide is going to be thrown into this carbon dioxide engine. We don't need 100 kilos worth of carbon dioxide. We only need enough to launch this thing. And the carbon dioxide has started flowing. Now for the test to see if it can actually get through this horribly cold biome here. It's at minus 63. And as long as the carbon dioxide does not liquefy in the pipe, we might be able to make it in cycle 16. And that's it. It is time to crew everybody up. We will select literally everyone. All hands on deck. Everybody get here. They're all climbing the chute. They may not have eaten, they may be tired, but they've done it. Eilart is the last one. Hurry up, get in there. We will change the destination to orbit because that's where the dupes believe their salvation lies. We are preparing to launch, and we've done it. For the record, it was right before cycle 17. The dupes have been successful. Well, almost. There's not any oxygen in here. There's nowhere to sleep. There's no food. But that's not the important point. The important point is they made it to space. We'll go ahead and land the rocket so the dupes can get a well-earned meal and a good night's rest. I hope you've enjoyed this ridiculous challenge of getting to space in 16 cycles. It was another one-off challenge, but it was something I really wanted to try. Next time I do this challenge, I think I'm definitely going to keep rolling the dupes until I get that necessary digging to be able to cut through the abyssalite. 16 cycles isn't bad, but I think it can be done in a lot less. If you enjoyed this challenge or have any recommendations for any future challenges, please let me know in the comments below. As a reminder, we have a wonderful Discord community just waiting for you to stop by. We also stream on Twitch on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I look forward to seeing everyone there, and I'll talk to you soon.